Pro Wrestling Weekly. For over 20 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment radio talk.
Is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly,
the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
You really do sound like a
grizzled old vet. Is that where you were going with there?
Yes.
To not get you in trouble?
Oh, I'll get in trouble at some point. Believe me, I'll do something.
Well, to keep you out of trouble in this case, at least.
And now, here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Ooh, I'm getting good at this radio thing.
Yeah. It only took you 5.5 years.
I'm not good at it yet. I'm starting.
Yeah.
Only slightly.
Slowest escalator upward.
Shut up!
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, sans Twitch, as he is fighting a sinus infection, but somehow was healthy enough to wrestle not one but two matches at the Monster Factory last night for Factory Fridays. However, avec... Mitch, back for the first time in quite a few weeks, thanks to occupational obligations.
Huzzah! I have returned from my time in the mountains or something like that.
I didn't mean for it to be a Renaissance fair thing, although, that'll be a fun time tomorrow, but that's a whole nother story. Oktoberfest weekend. Very good, yes. So, yes, but... hilarity aside, glad to have you back. It's been a little bit here, and glad to... Well, I was going to say, I would say glad to have Twitch back, but he's not here. But what is here is a lot of changes. A great deal of them, as, the television shuffleboard continuing. As this is, before we even get into the continuation of all the things that are moving around, this is the week here where... where all the different changes are happening. We've got the debut of All Elite Wrestling, AEW Dynamite. That's going to be this coming Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT. That's a nice little twist there, TNT Dynamite. And it's also a little throwback, as they used to have WCW, and it was Monday Nitro. So Nitro, Dynamite, there's a little correlation there. A little bit of a nod to the past with also an acknowledgement to the future.
I was going to make a pun about Dynamite, but you know what? I'll just leave Twitch to that, you know?
Wait, did you have a pun or was it based off of what I just kind of explained?
Yes, it was based
off
off what you just said.
So I took your thunder, which happened to have been the other WCW show back then. It was Thunder.
It was Thunder? Oh.
I didn't even realize I was going to make that pun until the words had already come out of my mouth, so I rolled with it like I do. So along with that, we're also going to have the first full-bore, full 2-hour event of NXT on USA Network going head-to-head with AEW Dynamite. So this is where the, as they've been calling it, the Wednesday Night Wars. The first shots will be fired this coming Wednesday.
Well, that could be exciting, though I never did understand why it was called NXT in the first place.
Well, that was something that WWE did back in the early 20-teens. I want to say 2010 or 2011 is when it initially started. I'm pulling up the specifics here just because my memory, it's starting to slip a little bit in my old age. Okay, no, I'm not that old, but there's a lot in my brain. But yeah, I think they just meant for it to be an abbreviation of like the next superstars or next generation or things of that nature.
That's what I was kind of thinking, but I thought it was like, I don't know, an acronym or something.
No, unlike everything else that they do, no, it oddly enough was not, at least not to my knowledge, it is not a type of acronym or anything of that nature. It initially, like, it was kind of meant to replace WWE's version of the ECW brand, and yeah, there was a trademark dispute between Scotland's Scottish Wrestling Alliance, whose developmental division was also called NXT, and they worked with them to secure the trademark for the series, and I guess WWE had more money, so it's the golden rule. Whoever has the gold makes the rules.
And voila, here we are now. The more you know.
But yeah, they had debuted the program in this 2010. That's what it was, February of 2010. So, gosh, it's this coming February. It'll be 10 years that NXT's been around. Holy cow! But yeah, it featured rookies from the Florida-based developmental territory, Florida Championship Wrestling. That was kind of what spun off of it. And 2 years later, in 2012, they ceased operating FCW and then just put everything under the NXT banner, and that's what they've been doing ever since. So, yeah, it is not an acronym, unlike WWE, which now is just known as WWE, but prior to some sort of global branding thing, it was short for World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah.
And, of course, prior to that, it was World Wrestling Federation, WWF, and then there was the whole, I think we talked about the whole Get the F Out thing, right?
We did.
Yeah, we did, okay.
Was it about the panda shirt?
Yes,
yeah.
The panda logo. I mean, there are shirts about it, yes, that hilariously have the panda bear with the steel chair.
That whole other WWF thing, yeah.
The World Wildlife Fund for Nature.
Yes.
Yeah, they were around longer. So again, they had the longevity in this case, and it was something where they were going to court, and WWF, the wrestling organization, knew that they were fighting a losing battle.
True to that.
Kind of like Lucas with this sinus infection.
Ooh.
Burn. But that all notwithstanding, that also means that with the additional shifting that this is also the Friday, this coming Friday, that SmackDown debuts on Fox on Friday night. Back to network television since the old UPN days of SmackDown in the late 99 into the early 2000s. So we'll see how it does. I mean, UPN isn't really around anymore, so kind of let you know how that went. But, I mean, Fox is among the big four now. They've solidified and cemented themselves over the course of the past really 3 decades, even though their other 3 network competitors have much greater longevity in NBC, ABC, and CBS. Fox has shown, all right, we're not going to do what the DuMont Network did back in the 50s. I'm showing, both my knowledge of broadcast history and my age with that one.
That is true, yes.
Yeah, the DuMont Network was a 4th network back in the 50s that hung around for a little bit, but wasn't the same caliber of the other 3.
I'll do
lasted
my
like a couple
homework
of
on
years.
that one.
Yeah. It's, if you're looking to get into broadcasting, that's some of the stuff you'll learn with broadcast history anyway. So, yeah, a little preview of that, the DuMont, DuMont network.
It sounds like a race.
Wait,
it was something with Ford and Ferrari or something like that.
Oh, like a brand of car or a model of car?
Some sort of endurance race, Le Mans or something like that.
Well, I know there's an Iron Man race, but I don't know. That's a whole other story. Okay. It lasted longer than I thought it did. So it launched actually in 1942 and lasted until 1956. So I was kind of looking at the tail end of the DuMont network.
Huh.
But that's enough network past. Let's talk network present here. So Fox is debuting, and we'll go over a lot of the changes that are associated with that here in the hour. But also, based on those major changes, there are also some residual shiftings and changes that are going on as well. For example, AXS TV, the broadcast home for Impact Wrestling, they announced on Tuesday that they'll be moving their weekly television series to Tuesday nights, taking WWE's old spot from Tuesday Night SmackDown, starting October 29th. So wrestling fans who, oh no, what am I going to do for my wrestling fix on Tuesdays? Well, now you have AXS TV and Impact.
There you go.
It notes here, this is from the press release, leading up to the debut of its flagship weekly show, Impact, on October 29th, AXS TV will showcase Impact Wrestling's critically acclaimed pay-per-view events of 2019, broadcasting each of Homecoming on October 1st, Rebellion on October 8th, and Slammiversary 17 on October 15th, in their entirety, and hosted by Executive Vice President Scott D'Amore and the voice of Impact Wrestling, Josh Matthews. Finally, on October 22nd, This Is Impact will serve as a launch pad for the promotion's AXS TV debut, featuring a preview of the weekly series, profiles on Impact Wrestling's biggest stars, and exclusive non-televised matches from Bound for Glory, Impact Wrestling's biggest pay-per-view event of the year, scheduled or to be held on Sunday, October 20th in Chicago. And meanwhile, thanks to the cluster of NXT and AEW being on Wednesdays, NXT UK, which airs here on the East Coast Wednesday afternoons at 3 p.m. Eastern, because that'd be 8 p.m. local time in the UK.
And there you go.
That is now being moved over to Thursdays at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. local time, 3 p.m. Eastern. So after the shuffle, if you want wrestling, you're pretty much good any day of the week, as you've got Raw on Mondays, Impact on Tuesdays, AEW Dynamite and NXT on Wednesdays, NXT UK on Thursdays, SmackDown on Fridays, and Ring of Honor wherever and whenever you can find it in your local area.
Well, there's your whole shebang for the week.
That's exactly. Now, it almost leads me to wonder, is it too much of a good thing?
I mean, it's... I don't know. That's the thing.
I mean, I don't think that there are going to be that many diehards who have that much time to dedicate to watch all of this programming on a weekly basis. I mean, there's only 168 hours in a week. You figure you've got 3 hours of Raw on Mondays, 2 hours of Impact on Tuesdays, 2 hours of AEW Dynamite, and 2 hours of NXT on Wednesdays. I believe it's an hour of NXT UK on Thursdays and 2 hours of SmackDown on Fridays. Not even including ROH, but I believe that's another hour. So that's 13 hours a week of televised wrestling programming, not including everything else that you have to do, like, work and eat and sleep and all the other things here. And that's almost 8% of your week if you were to dedicate the time to watch all of those programs. And that's not even including Lucha Underground or I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's...
I honestly only know one person, one wrestling fanatic, who would go out and watch all 13 hours of those, and that's one of my friends, Russell from school. Shoutouts to Russell from school, by the way, of which I haven't seen in 3 years.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, that's well, yeah, when you're still in school, okay, the most you have to worry about is school and homework.
Yeah.
So the responsibilities are a little bit less. You don't have jobs and bills and all the other adulting things. Hashtag adulting things.
Adult things. What are these, huh?
We'll have that conversation later.
We will, eventually.
Yeah, you're not 18 yet, so no, not those adult things.
No.
Okay.
Whoa.
Oh, just having a little fun here. So yeah, some of the shake-up. Well, we'll actually get into some of the shake-ups and changes because we're already about due for our first time out here because the time just flies on by here. But we'll get into a lot of the changes. We'll talk a little bit more Fox. We'll also get into wrestling fans getting into a bit of an uproar thanks to something said on Fox.
Oh boy.
Regarding a wrestler, and this is, I think it's a little, I think it's a little ticky tack or a little as Daniel Bryan would say. I think it's the fans being fickle.
Oh boy, uproars, my favorite.
Yeah, uproars, exactly. Plus, we've got an interesting advertising deal with WWE that's going to lead to some hilarity a little bit later, and a name from the past making his way back to WWE, actually one a couple of reported names, one in a wrestling capacity, one not, although people are going to argue that to the daylights and the Dickens and everything else. So all that and a whole bunch more. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
More people are online every day to check and pay their bills. Now you can have your BCWSA utility bill delivered electronically. Enrollment couldn't be easier. Just go to bcwsa.net or call 800-222-2068. With e-billing, you have control to see your bills when you want, set reminders for each new bill, and best of all, the service is free. Sign up for e-billing at bcwsa.net. Your partner for a safer environment, BCWSA. Proven.
Hi, this is Dr. Lee Piccarello inviting you to tune in every Friday morning at 8 a.m. to The Head Game, a must-listen show for athletes and coaches of all levels and ages. Mindful Athlete Training in Newtown, Pennsylvania is a mental circuit training program that prepares the athletes to perform at the highest level of today's game. Athletes get into the zone faster and stay there longer. Tune in every Friday morning at 8 a.m. right here on WBCB 1490 AM and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com.
Be sure to tune in to Senior Legal Strategies with Henry Carpenter every Tuesday morning at 9 right here on 1490 WBCB.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lonray Falusi with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Did you know that tooth decay is an infection? Luckily, cavities are largely preventable. The bacteria that cause cavities pass from parents to children, so good oral health is a family affair. Take care of baby teeth as soon as they emerge by brushing them with a smear of toothpaste with fluoride. Talk with your pediatrician about your baby's oral health and take him to the dentist by age 1. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
When an Eagles player gets hurt, the team takes care of him. When you get hurt, the attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio will take care of you. They understand that a severe accident can be a life-altering event. You need a reliable teammate to fight for you. The attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio will get you great results. And if there's no recovery, there's no fee. Contact them today at 215-750-0110 for a free consultation. 215-750-0110 for a reliable ally that's on your side.
See, he's got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so he might have...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe. Gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Mitch.
I wanted to see what that Luigi death stare was like, being honest.
Well, I don't know because I didn't give it. See, that's...
Yeah.
He is attempting to call me out, but well, I mean, you've seen it from like Mario Kart, right?
Yeah,
where,
of course.
Yeah, it's become one of the internet memes, as the kids know it, or something. You're one of the kids, you know these things.
Yeah, one of the memes, some of memes or something like that.
I thought it was memes. Okay.
Yeah, it is memes. I'm just joking.
Oh, okay. You're trying to mislead me here, Mitch. Trying to swerve me here. My goodness. All right. Well, one thing it isn't a swerve in that it's the truth, but it certainly threw people for a loop. WWE announcing that they were shaking up the broadcast teams for their new programs. So, well, for SmackDown, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Renee Young, that's right, they're moving from Raw to be on SmackDown exclusively. Cole and Corey Graves on the call, and Renee Young is a special contributor.
Special contributor?
Yeah, I don't know if that's like in the NFL where they have the sideline reporters, or I don't know. Maybe she'll be commentating just women's matches. It's hard to say.
I don't know all the ways and what's-its of sport ball, so I have no idea.
So the concept of a sideline reporter, that's something that sails over your head? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it just sails over my head.
Okay. So with the sport ball, the football, you have the players on it. Well, you should know football because you're in the high school band. You play during the football games and whatnot. I know you don't necessarily pay attention to it, but you at least have an idea of the imagery of it.
I mean, I have the imagery.
Okay,
I
so
just
you have
don't
the
know what
players
I'm
that are
seeing.
on either bench side, like on the benches there. So usually, kind of somewhere along that, the sidelines, just outside of the boundaries there, there'll be a reporter who will, have talked to the coach and get some sort of report about a player who might have been injured, or what they're looking to change up as far as their strategy for later in the game, or whatever the case may be. But that is a sideline reporter.
That is a sideline reporter. Okay, the more you know. Okay.
Yeah, we're learning things today here. It's all we're educational as well as entertaining here. At least we try to be. I got to remember to get that the more you know sounder up. All right, note that for the future. It would have been a good time to place that. That's pretty much where I was going with that. But yes, so as far as the shakeup, so Michael Cole and Corey Graves are on SmackDown, and Renee Young is a special contributor. So who is going to be on Raw? Vic Joseph, who, he's done all right for them. He's going to bounce around a couple of spots. Dio Madden, who's making, he's kind of come on recently and making some strides. And bringing back for the first time, at least full-time in quite a while, and a little surprising of a choice considering that he is, I want to say he's pushing 70 at this point, but none other than Jerry the King Lawler. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, the guy who fought with Andy Kaufman and Man on the Moon and everything else. Yeah, Jerry the King Lawler is going to be back on Raw. And then NXT is pretty much going to be the same. It's going to be Mauro Ranallo, Beth Phoenix, and Nigel McGuinness. So there isn't as much of a shakeup. Now, where does this leave current SmackDown Live lead voice Tom Phillips and his color commentator Byron Saxton? Sitting at home collecting a paycheck? That is yet to be determined. But they're not part of the main deal. I don't know if they're going to be involved in some other things. There's certainly some various options here. Now, what they'll be commentating this coming week, it looks rather interesting. First off, for this Monday on Raw, they're promoting it as the season premiere of Monday Night Raw.
Season premiere?
Which is weird because, WWE has gone on record in saying that they don't have an off-season. So how can you have a season premiere, a start to a season, when you don't have, when you don't have beginning and ending seasons? You just keep going because you're year-round, 24/7, or well, not 24/7. You're 52 weeks a year. So I think it's more so because, hey, we're calling it the season premiere because, hey, new shiny SmackDown on Fox. Yeah, so that's brand spanking new. So we're going to make Raw seem like it's new because it's going to be the season premiere along with it, along with the debut, because Raw is, strangely enough, starting to, just based on this shift here, it seems like Raw has kind of become, even though Raw has been the flagship station for decades, I think SmackDown's at least trying to be put at the focal point as the A show at this point.
Huh. Well, that's something.
Yeah. Raw has been that way, but let's see. Yeah, I'm looking here at some correspondence here with the self-professed Fugazi sports entertainment fan, Mike Samsel, who, by the way, he will be joining me down in Washington, D.C. We are going to be live in D.C. in attendance for the AEW television debut this coming Wednesday night. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'll be looking forward to bringing a live in the arena report, or at least a recap of everything that we saw in the arena from AEW's debut show. It has that hype, although a little bit more so than back in January of '93. Those who were, the roughly 900 in attendance, or what it felt like, who saw the very first Monday Night Raw live. Huh. So it kind of has that feel to it, just in a grander scale, because this is going to be in the arena that holds their basketball and hockey, and it'll seat like tens of, like 15, 18,000, something like that.
Probably.
It'll be big. That's the key to it here.
We're looking for the big digits.
Well, at least for this debut. Now, they realize that they're not going to be able to consistently do that every week, potentially yet. So they're scaling back to arenas that seat maybe 8, 10, 12,000, maybe 13,000. They're going a little bit smaller. For example, 2 weeks from this Wednesday, they're going to be here in Philadelphia. They're not going Wells Fargo Center. They're going to go with the Leacourse Center from Temple University, which, I mean, that only seats maybe about 9 or 10,000. So they know to scale back. So that's a good thing for them here. But yeah, it's going to be the season premiere of Raw. And so far advertised, Seth Rollins against Rey Mysterio for the Universal Championship. And Mysterio, he got featured in an interesting way, and we'll talk about that on the other side of our, we'll talk about that in the next segment. Also, they're advertising an appearance by Brock Lesnar.
The one, the only.
Also, a women's match of Sasha Banks against Alexa Bliss. And an episode of Miz TV, where The Miz is going to be interviewing special guests Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan.
Oh.
Yeah, they're carting out the big names here for the season premiere. Meanwhile, for the premiere of Friday Night Smackdown on Fox, you'll see, as we talked about last week, Kofi Kingston defending the WWE Championship against Brock Lesnar.
Oh, that could be fun.
That, well, may not be fun for Kofi Kingston. But,
well, of course, but...
also, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, they'll be teaming up against Sasha Banks and Bayley. And, well, it's been boiling for a while, and it's going to come to a head here, at least we think so. Kevin Owens against Shane McMahon in a career versus career ladder match.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if it just means that ladders are allowed as weapons, or if they're going to be climbing to grab, I don't know, a contract suspended above. I mean, usually ladder matches are where you have the championship belt hanging above and you got to climb up and grab it, or the Money in the Bank briefcase, same thing. But I don't know. When it comes to career, I don't know. It boggles my mind. What we're going to do next here, going to make our way over to the phones as we're going to get a look at the local scene, because I know we've been talking a lot of national stuff here. We'll mix it up and take a look at the local scene, courtesy of Ed from Northeast Philly. Ed, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Good afternoon. You were saying about Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon?
Yes.
I believe it might be a briefcase with a contract in it.
Oh, okay. Meaning, like, whoever grabs the briefcase has, they remain contracted with WWE, whereas the loser does not. Okay. Almost in a way like a feast or fired type match.
Yes.
From Impact.
That's what I believe. It sounded like they said that last week on the show.
Well, I mean, they announced the match. I didn't know if they had mentioned the logistics necessarily. At least I don't recall off the top of my head.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
As could I, and it would not be the first time, and damn sure won't be the last.
Yeah, make Jericho's list then.
Yeah.
LAW Liberty Brawl is tonight in Briarcliff Fire Company in Glen Owen with a 6:30 p.m. bell time.
Oh, that should be. That should certainly be a goodie. That's later this evening.
Pizza Party Wrestling at the Wrestle Factory this afternoon in Northeast Philly.
Pizza parties are good.
That's the name of the...
That's the name. I know it's the name of the thing.
Maybe somebody's going to come out with a pizza, I hope. I'm starving.
Stranger things have happened.
You know, Kofi Kingston and the New Day are at I Play America since 8:30 this morning.
Well, that's right. They, it's certainly a new day for them, and we'll see if it is as.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll still be there.
Yeah, no, I highly doubt. I mean, there's a certain amount of time for these things, but yeah. Actually, I'm looking at it here now.
Usually they run 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, that sounds about standard here. I love how they have the Pancake Lover VIP package, and that's probably why they started at 8:30 in the morning, so you could theoretically have pancakes with the New Day. And actually, yeah, as I'm looking here, 8 a.m. admission, 1 reserved seat for a pancake buffet breakfast, a commemorative custom print pre-signed by talent, priority admission into the event center, one personal item to be signed by all 3 members of the New Day. The prices went from anywhere from, I believe it was $25 to $200 for that Pancake Lover VIP, and that was $200 per person. So that's certainly an interesting affair. But well, actually, no. Okay, I stand corrected. It's from 8 until 2 o'clock. So so 6 hours in total. But I think the Pancake Lovers VIP, that 8 o'clock thing, that was for those who would be eating pancakes with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods and Big E.
And pancake eating contest,
maybe they had that. Who knows? I mean, if you're throwing down $200 for it, I guess you can, you can see what shots they're going to call with it.
How much can Lucas eat?
I've already railed on him enough for one show. I'm not. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to leave that alone.
I'm not going there.
I mean, right now he's got the sinus infection, so I don't think he has much of an appetite. Usually when you're sick, you're not hungry when you're sick.
Hope he feels better.
And you're not you when you're hungry. Grab a trademarked candy bar. Got it.
Triple WA wrestle in Quakertown with Triple WA at the Q1 at the farmers market.
Good. The old Q-Mart Farmers Market.
6:30 p.m. Belltown. Dino's promotion.
Yep, Dino Sana's promotion. Absolutely. We've had him on the program here. He's been well established here, and going all the way back. I mean, I think next year it'll be 40 years that he's run the Triple WA.
Yeah, and he's still going strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
NJ, I almost said New Jersey. New Japan Pro Wrestling at the arena tomorrow night.
That's. I knew that was coming up. I thought that might have been tomorrow. Actually, yeah, that's right. I know a few of the factory students are going to be involved in that.
They're going to have Lucha Libre coming up in October at 5 p.m. on the 13th at the arena.
It's good to see that the arena keeps pumping out the wrestling events. It's.
I should have information on that in a couple of weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah, a week or two. That makes sense. I mean, because if it's in sometime in October, you don't want to know about it until after. You don't want to know about it after it happens. You want to have a little bit of advanced knowledge on it.
Did you hear about Impact on Tuesdays?
We were talking about that in the first segment. The various shuffling. Impact now moving to Tuesdays. NXT UK is going to be on Thursdays. So I mean, you have wrestling at some point. I mean, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And if you're one of those that Ring of Honor airs on a Saturday on a network in your demographic. That's not the word I was looking for, but I couldn't think of the right one. In your locality, I guess is a good way to phrase it. You could theoretically, on a WWE or any of the other bigs pay-per-view week, you could theoretically have wrestling all 7 days of the week.
And they're having WrestleMania moments tomorrow.
Well, I mean, we are at about the halfway point to WrestleMania. Usually, beginning of April is WrestleMania or end of March. We're now 6 months, so we're 6 months away from WrestleMania 36 down in Tampa.
Yeah, it starts at 4:30 on Fox and Fox Sports.
Well, yeah, Fox. They're trying to slowly drum up. They're trying to gather every little bit of interest of, hey, it's Fox. We have wrestling now. It's going to be better than when we briefly had Saturday night's main event back in '92. We promise.
And they'll on again at 4 a.m. for late night viewers on October 4th.
That will not be October 4th
or Wednesday.
That will not be me. I mean, Wednesday maybe, although I'll be probably trying to sleep after driving home from D.C. that night. That's going to be a long night. I'm probably not going to get home until like 3 in the morning.
And Super Crazy at Tolman Jones in South Philly on October 12th. The Sandman, Greco Moraine, Black Cheese, Ron Starr. That's like right down the street from the arena. I think it's right across the street from Tony Luke's.
Oh, very nice.
In that area.
So great if you're real close by like that.
And that's about it.
Alrighty, we appreciate the look at the local scene. We'll be checking in with you over the course of the next couple weeks, and we'll see what other stuff comes to the fray here.
Have a nice day.
All right, you do the same. Thanks so much for calling in. So one other tidbit here is, well, I was gonna say there's so much going on here. I guess we'll save it for the other side and just kind of. There's a lot to get in. Yeah, here we go. Here's a quick little tidbit here. So I'd mentioned Miz TV a little bit ago. A little bit of congrats to the Miz and his wife Maurice as they had announced the birth of their daughter Madison Jade Mizanin, who was born last week in Los Angeles. Madison, their second child. A year and a half ago, they had their first child, Monroe Sky Mizanin. So congrats to the happy couple and family. Coming back, we've got a little bit more. I mentioned Rey Mysterio. We'll see how he... he raised some eyebrows, even with nothing said about him. Also, a couple of names coming to WWE, and an interesting advertising partnership. All that and more here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Parks Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. Grammy-nominated global recording superstar Avril Lavigne performs October 11th. Country singer Aaron Lewis live October 20th. Nicole Byer from Nailed It on Netflix and MTV's Girl Code November 7th. Also at the Excite Center, Collective Soul October 3rd. Chris Young November 14th. John Cleese November 22nd. Leanne Rimes' You and Me and Christmas Tour December 5th. Tickets on sale now. Visit parkscasino.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Planning a night out? If you're having a few drinks, think of calling limotoday.com. If you're arrested for DUI, it will cost you thousands of dollars and potential jail time. And think about the risk you're taking for yourself and others when you drink and drive. Let limotoday.com do the driving for you. Limotoday.com offers reliable, affordable transportation from sedans and stretch limousines to vans and minibuses. Limotoday.com has it all. Choose safety first. Choose limotoday.com. 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. 1-866-LIMO-TODAY.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
The Bristol Borough Community Action Group Food Bank at 99 Wood Street in Bristol has been serving Lower Bucks County since 1971. It's your monthly tax-deductible donations that allow us to provide food for hundreds of households each month. Please consider a generous one-time or recurring monthly donation at www.givebucks.org. That's www.givebucks.org. Help us help those in need. Please donate today. The Bristol Borough Community Action Group, 99 Wood Street, Bristol, PA 19007.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, September 28th. On this date in 1985, the NWA held its Super Clash Supercard. In the main event, Ric Flair defeated Magnum TA to retain the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 1998, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Rochester, New York. In the main event, Sting fought Hulk Hogan to a no contest. On this day in 2009, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Albany, New York. In the main event, John Cena defeated Chris Jericho and The Big Show and fought Randy Orton to a no contest in a gauntlet match. On this date in 2015, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Buffalo, New York. In the main event, Bray Wyatt fought Roman Reigns to a double countout. This has been Today in Wrestling History, September 28th.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Mitch.
Hello again.
Twitch has the sinus infection, and I'm here despite fighting a little bit of laryngitis earlier in the week. That was not fun. Don't get laryngitis. It's not good. But what is good? Well, Fox does not appear to be having any trouble selling advertising for Friday Night SmackDown. Fox Sports Executive VP of Sports Sales Seth Winter telling Ad Age that 20 sponsors who had never bought time during a pro wrestling show have already signed on.
Huh.
Yeah. He stated that his belief that SmackDown can dominate the younger demographics, saying, quote, "We want to seize the night. If you program for that demo, they will come. And if you build a baseball field, they'll come too? Field of Dreams? No? If you build it, they will? Okay.
Nope.
I know. Sport ball. Ted's laughing in the back, but that's about it. It's also worth noting that Winter stated that the double box advertising that the network employs for NFL and Major League Baseball coverage is not expected to be used on SmackDown. That's where they'll kind of minimize and move the one picture over to the side and then have another picture that shows the commercial on the same screen.
Yeah.
So you can continue to watch the action. Yeah. But apparently they're not going to do that. Now, they also have an interesting note on how Fox may cut back on the amount of actual ads during the show in the 10 to 20% range, quote unquote, in hopes of appealing to younger viewers. So fewer commercials, kids may be more interested to stick around. Although, as opposed to more commercials where adults tend to stick around with football. Yeah, I don't know. The football, with the commercials every 10 seconds, it feels like. It's just, no wonder they have trillions of dollars. Also, other Fox news, they announced that WWE Backstage, a studio and recap show that'll be airing on FS1 every Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern, starting Tuesday, November 5th, and that'll be hosted by Renee Young and Booker T, if you can dig that sucker. Also, now, while we're talking all this WWE programming, there might be a little gasoline to go with the Dynamite. Warner Media considering the idea of launching a second all-elite wrestling television series. AEW hasn't even debuted yet, and they're talking about a second show. Pump the brakes.
Whoa.
Yeah, Warner Media executive Brett White's telling The Wrap the two sides are discussing the possibility of doing a studio show together, kind of like a recap thing, saying the possibility of a companion show for AEW Dynamite. He said, quote, "We are talking about it knowing full well that within the Warner Media ecosystem we have BR Live. We've got all these different components at our disposal." End quote. BR Live referencing Bleacher Report Live. So, okay, if they're going to go that route, that's right. I was going to say, don't put anything else on TNT. Let's hold on now. Now, back to Fox for a moment. The Fox Sports moving bus, they made a stop in Minneapolis, Minnesota at U.S. Bank Stadium, and footage was shown during the Fox broadcast of the Minnesota Vikings win over the Oakland Raiders of Rey Mysterio emerging from the bus. Now, Mysterio was also shown wearing his mask while seated in the crowd during the game. And that moving bus, it's in the midst of a 16-stop, 13-city promotional tour for SmackDown's move to Fox this Friday. It also made stops in Chicago for a Cubs game and was in Madison, Wisconsin for a Wisconsin Badgers college football game last Saturday. And, it'll be in Houston as well for the Texans home game against the Carolina Panthers. They're just kind of moving all over the place, but wrestling fans got into a bit of an uproar based on color commentator Mark Schlereth's observation of Mysterio during part of an ad read during the Sunday NFL on Fox broadcast. Here that is, courtesy of Fox.
And Ray, he's here. Look at him. He's in his mask. It's like a luchador. This is like a Nacho Libre.
Yeah, fans did not take to that all that well.
No. Boy.
Schlereth saying on his Stinkin' Truth podcast, so I do a promo because Fox is now in with WWE Wrestling Superstars, and I do a promo with this WWE superstar, Ray. I can't even remember this guy's name. First off, I meet him. Great guy. He's in his mask. I call it Nacho Libre because that's what I know it from. Luchador mask. I can't do the exaggerated rolling of the R's that it has here. He's got a spare mask, and I'm like, let me put this on. We can do this together. He said, it's probably not going to fit your head. It's not that I have a big head. The guy is 5'6" and maybe 170 pounds. His head is small compared to my head. He was right. It didn't fit. We do this wrestling promo, and it's silly. It's 15 seconds. He goes on to say, they flashed him, and he's sitting in the stands with his mask on, and I say something about the luchador mask, and it reminded me of the Nacho Libre mask. And wrestling fans went 8 bananas on me like I'm the most disrespectful guy in the history of broadcasting, and that's a superstar of WWE, and I should learn the sport. I'm like, you're kidding me, right?
Oh boy, uproars. My favorite.
His co-host Mike Evans added, so they're telling you to be more serious about something that is fake? Yeah, they went there.
Oh, no.
Now, Schlereth did concede that hockey fans are worse when it comes to attacking him and defending their sport. Take that, Jack Spears. Nah, I'm kidding, Jack. You're good people. It's the other hockey fans, though. Mysterio, to his credit, he stayed classy and simply tweeted, quote, my son and I had a great time. Thank you for the hospitality, Fox Sports. Been looking for a tag team partner for a minute now, and I believe I just found him, Mark Schlereth. And he notes speed plus power equals and new tag team champs. The promo Schlereth reference was Mysterio and Schlereth doing a ring entrance from out of the tour bus. So a couple of names here. Yeah, a couple of names here that are potentially making their way back to WWE based on reports. One is John Hennigan has reportedly signed a WWE deal. According to Mike Johnson of PWInsider.com, Hennigan, who was known previously as John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Impact, among other names, he'll be turning 40 this Thursday, and he was in WWE starting in 2002, winning Tough Enough, going through 2011 and winning tag titles on 5 different occasions, 3-time Intercontinental Champion, and held WWE's version of the ECW World Championship. Then went on to Lucha Underground, where he was a Triple Crown champion there during his time from 2014 to 2018, and also wrestled Impact from 2017 through Slammiversary of this year, having won their World Championship. So, interesting to see where he'll go. And now, let the internet do their thing with this. Apparently, CM Punk was in Los Angeles this week to meet for a potential role on the forthcoming WWE Backstage Studio series that will air weekly on FS1. CM Punk and WWE, has hell frozen over? Time will tell. Mike Johnson reporting, same PWInsider.com, that Punk and Renee Young did some on-camera test material together, and it also noted that Taz, Paige, Rey Mysterio, and Sean Waltman are also up for potential roles. And now we're going to have a little bit of fun with this here. So, WWE issued a press release Thursday to announce an expanded partnership with Post Cereals. Now, you may remember about 8 years ago that thanks to these comments here from The Rock...
So let me get this straight. The WWE has gone from the powerful Austin 316 to the dominant and iconic, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? All the way to, you can't see me. You can't see me. What are you playing, peekaboo? You can't see me. I can see you. Can you see me? Oh, believe me, we all can see you. We all can see you. A blindfolded, sleeping, stuck in the basement Stevie Wonder can see your monkey. How in the hell you think we can miss? You come out here with your bright purple shirt, and before that, your bright green shirt. Before that, your bright orange shirt. You run around here looking like a big fat bowl of Fruity Pebbles.
So, yeah, that insult ended up leading to Cena being put on the cover of boxes of Fruity Pebbles cereal. So there's a working relationship with WWE and Post Cereals. But now that relationship has gotten stronger as two superstars, well, Becky Lynch and The Big Show, a little bit of a head-scratcher on the second one, will be featured on the front of nearly 7 million boxes of post-honeycomb cereal and post-Golden Crisp cereal. Now, Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch will be featured on the front of Golden Crisp cereal, whose iconic mascot Sugar Bear remains a beloved fan favorite, while Big Show will be featured on boxes of honeycomb, a cereal known for its big flavor and unique big honeycomb shape. I don't know, they definitely don't make advertising like they used to.
I can't get enough of that sugar crisp, sugar crisp, sugar crisp. I can't get enough of that sugar crisp, keeps me going strong.
It's sugar sweet and honey flavored wheat, so it keeps me going strong.
Thanks, Granny. Can't get enough of that sugar crisp. Those cereals make breakfast a little bit better.
Gotta love some Sugar Crisp. Yeah, it was back when they called it Sugar Crisp as opposed to Golden Crisp.
Huh.
Yeah, a lot of history with Sugar Bear. And Granny Goodwitch trying to hide the Sugar Bear, or hide the Sugar Crisp from Sugar Bear. Yeah, that's... Plus, and I'm going to throw this out there for the grown-ups in the room. But, yeah, if you check out Game Grumps, they did a fun little thing about Sugar Crisp that kind of revitalized their popularity about a year ago. And we'll leave it at that because... yeah, that'll be one you definitely want to put as JR would say, put the women and children to bed for that bit that they did. Definitely a few words not safe for radio on that one.
Oh, boy.
All right. And we'll talk a little bit more about it next week because we're just 8 days away from a WWE pay-per-view, but so far 3 matches announced for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. You've got a tag match of Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns against former partner Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, who they're now teamed up back together. And then you have not one but 2 Hell in a Cell matches. Firstly, for the women, ladies first, the Raw Women's Championship on the line, Becky Lynch defending against Sasha Banks in a Hell in a Cell match. So they're going to be locked in that cage-like structure. And then for the men, Seth Rollins defending the Universal Championship against The Fiend Bray Wyatt.
The Fiend himself.
Yes, it'll definitely he'll be locked into the proverbial Firefly Funhouse.
Oh boy,
it's going to be a barn burner to say the least. Certainly should be interesting. Alrighty, what else? I'm just looking here. Did I miss anything among the mix here? No, I did mention The Miz. Okay, and we got the. Yeah, I go over so many stories, I'm kind of like, all right, did I get that one? Did I get this one? I mentioned that here. Yeah, and I think that's going to just about do it here. Yeah, Hell in a Cell is next week. I'll have a recap next week as well from being in attendance live at AEW down in Washington, D.C. It'll be the first time I've been there since almost getting lost there 18 years ago. It wasn't exactly Home Alone Lost in New York, but it was a rather interesting story where I was it was a college field trip, and I kind of strayed from the group, or the group strayed from me, depending on who's you ask about the story. And I ended up running into another chaperone who didn't communicate to the rest of the chaperones that, hey, this person's with me, and then we ended up taking a different transit thing back, and everybody else was worried about me, and it was miscommunication that led to a lot of concern. But I'm back now, and I don't plan on getting lost in D.C. a second time. There will be no sequel. All right, we've got about a minute and a half here, so that means it's time for...
birthdays!
Been a little while since you've done that.
Still got it.
Yep. Never lost it. All right, we've got actually kind of light this week. 1 plus 2 Brucey bonuses. Firstly, in wrestling on this date in 1963... Steve Blackman was born, the martial arts instructor and former 6-time WWF Hardcore Champion, competing back in the 98 to 2002 range. He turns 56 today, actually 97 to 02 if I recall right. And to the Brucey bonuses, 2 things outside of the world of wrestling. On this date in 1934, Bridget Anne-Marie Bardot was born, the former actress and singer who was one of the best-known sex symbols of the 1950s and 60s. She was certainly a looker. She turns 85 today. And on this date in 1979, Brandon Cole Margera was born, The skateboarder, stunt performer, filmmaker, and television personality who came to prominence as a main cast member of the MTV series Jackass, known as Bam Margera, he turns 40 today. So yeah, that's going to do it for us here. Ted Efaw, he's next with the almost full slate of the Country Road Show, leading up to those sillies finishing out the stretch here, trying to maybe stay at 500. Who knows? But, alas, there's always next year. And there's always next week here on Pro Wrestling Weekly. Play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock and all's well.
Serving you better than ever before. This is